because I think that my mind functions. I mean, Julie and I, we've made it very clear. We do therapy and we have counseling, and we have a great Christian counselor.
But at the end of the day, this is a job for them. And it is our job to make sure that our family is intact when all this is over.
If you can't put a ring on their hand, you can't put a deed in their hand at the day of that wedding, you ain't getting my daughter.
After receiving a combined 19-year prison sentence, Todd and Julie Chrisley declare that they are living every day as if it were their last. The two discuss their situation with podcast listeners for the first time since knowing their legal fate on November 21st. They said they are relying on their faith to get them through. Julie said on Chrisley Confessions, quoting author Priscilla Shirer, "Age is simply a number, and since we don't know our death date, we have to live every day as if it's our last. The past is irrelevant. We only have today," Todd affirmed, "because tomorrow is not guaranteed to us. Today belongs to God." Today, we'll discuss the sentencing of Todd and Julie, Nanny Faye, and the kids' reaction, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Topish. We have some exciting stories that are full of lip-smacking delicacies, so make sure to subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. With that being said, let's begin. The former Chrisley Knows Best stars who were convicted of bank fraud and tax evasion in June said they're relying on a higher power and keeping their kids in mind as they move on. "The challenges I'm facing and how I handle them are also being seen by my kids," said Julie, 49. "They're looking to see if I handle the situation properly or if I make a mistake. Since I know kids are watching and that it will help prepare them for challenges they'll inevitably face later in life, I want to do my best as a parent to do it properly, more often than poorly." Todd, 53, acknowledged they've fallen short lately despite their best efforts to continue serving as positive role models for their family. "You need to rise above your circumstances. Believe that they won't last forever and you'll eventually come out the other side," Julie added, "that you'll be given the power you require to go through with it. But when you can't see the end of the tunnel, I believe it can be difficult to accept." In spite of their dark days, Todd continued, he and his wife had made the decision to get up. Previously, Julie claimed that she never consciously intended to do anything illegal on her daughter Savannah Chrisley's show. "I'm aware of what I did," she declared. "More importantly, I know what I haven't done." The Chrisleys intended to appeal their sentences, which call for more than $17 million in reparations and probation time. Before she and Todd Chrisley received their sentences, Julie Chrisley talked openly about her battle with fear. The Chrisley Knows Best stars were sentenced earlier this week in their bank fraud and tax evasion case. Todd received 12 years in prison and 16 months on probation, while Julie received 7 years and 16 months of probation. Julie, 49, said to her husband, 53, in a Chrisley Confessions podcast episode that was recorded prior to their sentencing and broadcast on Wednesday, "Everyone knows that we're going through a nightmare. I have been intent on not living in dread," she concluded. After discussing an acronym, she was informed about fear. Julie replied, "I battle so much with it because I do feel like I live in fear. There's false evidence that appears to be true. I firmly believe that I am a Christian, that God exists and that He's able to do miracles, that He would provide for my family, and that even if I passed away tomorrow, I would know where I'm going, but I still feel this fear." Despite her anxiety, Julie expressed her gratitude that she and Todd were still together despite their legal difficulties. She remarked, "I'm glad that instead of breaking down, our friendship has expanded. Most often, persons who experience severe circumstances don't survive. Since everything is difficult, relationships frequently end in divorce. There are significantly more pressures and people fail." Peter Tarantino, the former Chrisley's accountant, was also given a 36-month prison term, according to Insider. Following hip surgery, Tarantino, who was found guilty in June for his part in the couple's fraud scheme, is scheduled to report to prison on May 1st, 2023, according to the publication. The reality star's attorney Alex Little of Burr & Foreman LLP stated after the verdict that family was optimistic about the future since they intended to fight the charges. For the Chrisley family, yesterday was a trying day. However, Todd and Julie are devout believers, and their faith gives them courage as they defend their convictions. In a statement that People acquired, not much was said. Serious and persistent errors during the trial, including the government's deceit of the jury over the couple's tax obligations, tarnished the proceedings. We're optimistic about the future given these problems. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, a federal jury found Todd and Julie guilty of conspiring to conduct tax fraud, bank fraud, and fraud against the United States in June. She was also found guilty of wire fraud, and the two have refuted every accusation. According to Insider, Tarantino was also found guilty of conspiring to defraud the US and knowingly filed fake tax returns. Todd and Julie were on trial for 3 weeks when Assistant U.S. Attorney Annalise Peters alleged that they had lied about their financial situation to banks in order to borrow over $30 million, which they burned on their luxurious lifestyle and tax evasion. On his Chrisley Confessions podcast in September, Todd admitted that he thought the truth will eventually win out. At the time, he declared, "God has put it in my soul that we will endure the lies and that the truth will eventually rise to the top. The Holy Spirit is abounding within me. God is certainly at work and I am at peace with that. Never will God surpass Satan in power." There's more though. We still have one more stunning fact we'd want to share with you, and we're confident you'll find it shocking. The Chrisleys allegedly asked his mother to lie on the witness stand, according to federal prosecutors. The charges were brought up at the couple's fraud conviction sentencing session. The couple's testimony against them, according to the defense, was not influenced by them. Elizabeth Faye Chrisley, Todd Chrisley's 77-year-old mother, was accused by a federal prosecutor in Atlanta of perjury for allegedly lying under oath during the trial for her son and daughter-in-law. At the reality TV couple's Monday sentencing for their years-long scheme in which they defrauded banks and the IRS to live a luxurious lifestyle, Assistant U.S. Attorney Annalise Peters said, "They used her to help further their crime and frankly victimized her by asking her to take the stand and lie." A federal jury in Atlanta found Todd and Julie Chrisley, stars of the USA Network reality series Chrisley Knows Best, guilty of a number of conspiracy and fraud-related offenses in June. Prosecutors testified at the trial that the pair tried to transfer their 7 Seas Productions bank account, where they were paid for their show, into Todd Chrisley's mother's name when they recognized their fraud scheme was failing. On the show, Faye Chrisley, who goes by the name Nanny Faye, admitted to prosecutors that she didn't know why she was listed as the account's owner and that she didn't read paperwork before signing it. Faye Chrisley informed Peters in June, "Honey, I had never been involved with anything but being a signer. Never have I owned it. I do not desire it." She claimed that the following day she and Julie Chrisley went to the bank to alter the account back to Faye's name, Peter recalled. At trial, a bank employee stated that Julie Chrisley never returned to the bank the following day and that the bank would have never accepted such a changed document. Donna Cash, a different witness, was charged by Peters with lying under oath during the trial. Former worker Cash, who worked for the Chrisleys, claimed that she lied about the company's health and delivered phony financial records to lenders at the order of her supervisor, Mark Braddock, who ultimately turned the Chrisleys in. When the Chrisleys' family home was about to go into foreclosure, she allegedly stopped forging paperwork. Cash testified in court while crying, saying, "I did some awful things, but there was one thing I wasn't going to do." Peters claimed Cash was fabricating information to shield Todd Chrisley, who was actually the fraud's mastermind. However, the Chrisleys' defense attorney argued there was no proof their clients directed witnesses' testimonies. Federal prison time of 12 years was imposed on Todd Chrisley, and Julie Chrisley received a 7-year sentence. Following their committed time, they will both complete 3 years of supervised release. Todd and Julie Chrisley lie and cheat at every opportunity, Peters remarked in court on Monday, calling them a walking crime wave. Let's look at the kids' reactions to the punishment before we wrap up. A week after Todd and Julie Chrisley were given a combined sentence of 19 years in jail, Chase offered a story about maximizing the time you have with others. The story, Make the Chili, tells about a man who, despite it being inconvenient, urges his friends to prepare his wife's favorite dish because life is short. The 26-year-old star of Chrisley Knows Best reposted it on his Instagram story. "I didn't notice for a few minutes that we are no longer discussing meals. It was about going above and above to take care of someone you love because they might suddenly be snatched from you at any time," it said in part. While Chase has been silent about his feelings over his parents' convictions, his other siblings have not. Savannah Chrisley stated this week that she's in charge of her niece, Chloe 10, and her brother, 16-year-old Grayson. Savannah 25 claimed on a recent edition of the podcast Unlocked that she was trying to manage how to teach two younger children who aren't fully formed yet, and get them to comprehend the situations. That it is an incredibly challenging task. Lindsay, Todd's daughter and Savannah's stepsister, has shared a number of Instagram stories, many of which feature her hanging out with pals and cryptic sayings. Her most recent Instagram post on Monday stated, "We're all busy, but we're not too busy to be nice, compassionate, and patient. Remember that love is the best gift you can give someone right now." Kyle, Lindsay's older brother from Todd's first marriage, provided a subtly encouraging Bible phrase that urged people not to judge. That ends today's video. Please leave a comment below to let us know what you think will happen next with the Chrisleys. Like and share this video to stay up to date on their progress, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Topish keeps you up to date on all the latest Hollywood celebrity news, drama, and gossip. Subscribe to our channel and check back for new videos and updates, and we'll see ya in the next video.